Good morning, family. How we doing out there this fine, beautiful fall Saturday? The weather has been awesome, at least for the last couple of days. I don't know about last week, but at least this week we had a little something going on. But the icing on the cake is you're here. We've made it. We get to hang out again together, man. I appreciate you for being here. Let's talk a little bit to Sweets real quick. Sweets, how was your week?
My week was good. It was, I'm actually real grateful. I've just been reminiscing over a lot of things. You know, when it comes to fall, you can kind of sit back, have some hot tea and some soup. And I was just going over in my head about our little man who just turned 15. So we celebrated his birthday not too long ago. And it's really cool to see him overcome each challenge and each roadblock that he's just conquered, and it just makes me proud to be his mom. Love you, handsome.
Listen, shout out to my, I would have said little man, but not so little man, BK3. Dude is growing up super awesome. Like eventually, dude might be as tall as me. But I'm gonna tell you like this. You better stay out of my shoes or we're gonna have a misunderstanding. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But for real, I'm very proud of the man he's becoming, the accomplishments he's made so far. You can't write this kid off. You definitely can't write this kid off, because everything he's doing something that amazes us. The things that we may take for granted, the things that we maybe think are small victories, I say for everybody, celebrate them like they're major wins, because for some of us, they really are.
Yeah.
So to Brian, love you more than you ever know, little man. Not so little man. So happy and proud and blessed to be a part of your growth. Happy birthday again. And we're just looking forward to a bigger, brighter, better year and seeing more accomplishments in this coming year for you, man. Real quick, this past week, you know, it was pretty smooth. I think it was pretty smooth. But there was one thing that stood out for the week, which was I watched this show, old school show, and it was the series finale, right? And you know, at this series finale, what happens is, you know, you got the sentimental music playing in the background, and all the somber, bittersweet situations going on, and this song came up, and it reminded me of when I heard it before, and took me back to that place when I saw this episode for the first time, and just this rush of memories came back, and so I just jumped in the truck and started bumping the tunes, and I had like this incredibly big smile on my face, and it was a great song, so I got a chance to just rehash and replay that bad boy.
It's interesting because that's the purpose of music. It transcends space, transcends time. It touches the heart of people worldwide. It erases lines that people draw, and it bridges cultures together, so that, you know, each culture can kind of feel the same thing at the same time. And anybody that knows me knows I absolutely, without a doubt, love music. I have a special appreciation for it in my heart. I don't just listen to one genre of music. I listen to different types of music. And it not just because it's a universal language, but because it brings people together. It bridges people, cultures, backgrounds, and it causes you to have such a love just for the artists and the people that are, you know, presenting the music, and it helps communicate unexplained emotions. You know, sometimes you can't say things in words, you got to put it in a song in order for it to get felt. I know in Ephesians 5:19 it says, "Sing and make music from your heart to the Lord. And, for some of us, we can't sing, but for some of us, we can. So I'm just grateful to God that He's given me the opportunity to be able to even carry a note. So I just enjoy music, just personally. So
yeah. So Tina says some of us can sing and some of us can't. I can sing, and so like what happens is when don't go there.
Huh? You can.
All right. Well, I mean, saw the smile, so I was thinking maybe that I could carry a tune. Like
you can make a joyful noise.
I can carry a tune.
Yes, you can carry
over to you so you can sing it. So this week we're going to speak about good music, the good book, good times, good vibes throughout the Love-A-Soul. We're going to have some decent tunes bumping. You may be hearing it right now in the background, so let's just have some fun today with it. But you already know what time it is. You know what it is. We don't make a single move unless I get to do what I do best. So, here we go. They call me B Money. Mad funny. No dummy. Yo, honey. Cut the beat. Cut it. Y'all don't even understand what just happened right now. Listen. That's all y'all can stand, but y'all can't stand no more. Listen. I'm Brian.
Oh, my goodness.
How you doing? But this one right here, she's like a dream come true. Girl, I just want to be with you. Because it's plain to see, you're the only one for me. Y'all, this is my slice of heaven on earth. Tina, please say hi to the people.
Hello, everyone. Glad you all can make it back, or make it out, rather, and hang out with us. I loved what you did just there, because he's my favorite artist. Yeah. Or one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, I picked that song for a reason, because, we'll talk about that in just a second. But let's go ahead and give the title of the show, of the Love-A-Soul. So this week's Love-A-Soul is entitled The Book of Love, with the subtitle, It Has Music in It. And I don't know about you, Tina, I think you said it a little bit, but for me, music is like the universal language. Like people from other countries may not be able to fully speak English, but they all know the lyrics to the Michael Jackson song.
Sure.
And say every word like English is their first language, you feel me?
I get you.
And with music, it can also be like a time machine, and it can take you back to that time or that place where you first heard the song. Or
it can take you not only to the first time you've heard it, but it can also take you to a point in time where you had a major impact in your life too.
Like with Brian McKnight?
I know you're not trying to go there right now.
I mean, this
is not what this episode is for.
It's part of it. It's definitely part of it. Y'all want to hear a story? Like to hear? Here you go.
Here we go.
So y'all know how your boy used to play ball back in the day, and it allowed me to meet some pretty awesome people, right? So I'm in the gym. We playing ball. We got some top-notch people coming through, celebrities, if you will. And in walks none other than Brian McKnight. And for real, sidebar, dude can hoop. I mean, this was a minute ago, but my mans can put it down, had handles, had shot. It was cool hooping with him. But we getting down, we balling, we doing our thing. So after the game, I go over to Brian. We got the same last name. We both can carry a tune. Neither here nor there. I say,
really?
Mr. McKnight, my wife has you in her top 3 favorite artists of all time. I think it would be super cool if you could just say hello to her. So Tina wasn't in the gym. So I was like, all right, pass the phone, get on the phone, make the call, and guess what? Phone went to voicemail. Tina missed the call from Brian McKnight.
It's not fair. It's not fair at all, because I was trying to get some sleep because I worked the night shift. So I was trying to rest for work.
I go to your
How
defense.
I was know Brian McKnight was gonna call me on my phone?
I go to your defense. Yes, you were sleeping, all of that, but man, listen, the look on your face when I told you who was trying to call. Nah, it was worse than that. I mean, that thing was like twisted like your mouth was in your forehead. I mean, it was bad.
It's just messed up, man. It's not funny. It's not. It really isn't. But you know what? It's all good, because I missed the call from Brian McKnight, but I answered God's call. So now what?
Won't he do it?
That's more important.
Won't he do it? There's that. But I say all that to say, music is that powerful. It really is. Like, it invokes so much emotion. It invokes inspiration, encouragement. I think it's beautiful how music is also interwoven in the Bible, like where it says with Psalms 45:1, beautiful words fill my mind as I compose this song for the King. Like the pen of a good writer, my tongue is ready with a poem. For me, I don't know about y'all, but for me, the entire book is a book of love, and each page is like a sheet of music that sings to us.
Let me share some of the sheets with you. Jeremiah 31, verse 3. It says, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have continued to my faithfulness to you. Then in Zephaniah 3:17, it says, the Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you with his love. He will exalt over you with loud singing. He ain't even quiet about you. He loves you so much, he starts singing to you. I absolutely love that.
I sing loud.
Let me go to Psalms 136, verse 1 through 3. It says, thank God. He deserves your thanks. His love never quits. Thank the God of all gods. His love never quits. Thank the Lord of all lords. His love never quits. His love never quits. You know, the entire 136th Psalm says that God's love never quits 26 times.
That's a lot.
I don't know how many times, how many more times God would need to remind us that his love never quits. I think my husband has said it before, the 66 book love letter that he's given to us is so important for us. 1 John 4 and verse 16, we have known and have believed the love that God has for us. God is love. Those who remain in his love remain in God, and God remains in them. So God is love. Love is what our whole existence is about. It's all love.
Just like that song, Jesus is Love from the Commodores, man. I love that song. That's like top 10 of my playlist, real talk. Real quick question, Tina. Do you remember our wedding song?
Oh yeah, how could I forget? Charlie Wilson,
like
Uncle Charlie.
It was like the best song for that time frame because like with the lyrics, it made sense for me because it explained really what you mean to me, right? The day that we were getting married, and even though we've already been married before, I still had butterflies throughout that day. And what happened was, you know, the verses, the first verse in that song says, butterflies is what I feel inside, because that's what you do, right? I mean, it just made sense. And then the song goes on to say, you're the reason I love. So to me, that was the absolute perfect song, in my opinion, for the moment. And every time I hear it, it just takes me back to that time.
Aww. Thanks, babe. It was a beautiful ceremony. I remember walking down the aisle to a song that I chose, which actually had really good words to it too. It was by Marette Brown Clark, called "The One He Kept for Me," And I remember having a flood of emotions while I walked down the aisle, because I remember when my father first met you. And after he met you, he had told me, he said, the only way that you're going to be able to be a good wife is that you put your full trust in God. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm young. I'm not really paying attention to what Dad's saying. You know, my father was a man of very few words. Mm-hmm. But when he said something, it was profound. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I really didn't understand what he was saying, just trust in God. And then he looked at me again and said, trust in God only. So when I was walking down the aisle, I remember the words, and it says, the one I've waited for, my love's design, the one he kept for me until it was time. And it was just so interesting to hear those words, because it was God, you know, speaking through the song to let me know that I was walking down the aisle to my purpose. So it's so amazing how, you know, God will bring music. You know, we talked about how emotional music is and how, you know, it soothes you and it can actually minister to you. So as I'm walking down the aisle, I'm walking down the aisle to my purpose. So it was just really cool. It reminds you, you know, of who God is in your life and how he speaks to you through music.
And here's the thing. Just like a song that can soothe you mm-hmm. from your anxieties and stuff like that, the Bible also helps with calming anxieties. Mm-hmm. And the Bible tells us that music helps. Right. So again, it's that interwovenness with music in the Bible. 1 Samuel 16:23 said, and whenever the harmful spirit of God was upon Saul, David took the lyre and played it with his hands. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the harmful spirit departed from him. So the lyre is another word for harp. So when David played a song on the harp, it helped soothe the anxiety of Saul mm-hmm. and what Saul was going through and all of that. And the spirit lifted off of him. So just like the right song, mm-hmm. The Bible can help relieve that anxiety or whatever is going on in the relationship, whether it's your marriage or friendships or church family, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. You just have to begin to sing the right song for the moment.
Right.
Or in other words, read the right scriptures.
That's true. That's why the Bible or the book of love is so important to read daily. You know, God, God wants us to deliver us from anxiety. He doesn't want us to go through all of that. He wants us to have that inner peace that passes all understanding. You know, what we watch, what we see, what we listen to, that filters into our minds. You gotta protect your spirit, mm-hmm. you know, so you have to really take a look at what's in your playlist. What are you listening to? Is it strengthening you to go down the right path, or is it strengthening you to go down the wrong path? You know, which spirit is it strengthening? You know, I remember years ago, I used to listen to this song called Resentment. Mm-hmm. So every time I was bad at somebody, whether it be Brian or family members or what have you, the name of the song reveals what the song is about. Resentment. There was nothing in that song that spoke to my healing. There was nothing in that song that pointed me into the direction of healing. All that song did was just reinforce me being a victim, me continuously being resentful, and me still being angry and being mad. You know, there's certain songs that you gotta be careful about. Certain things on TV, you gotta be careful about. You can't watch certain things. You can't view certain things. You gotta protect your spirit. You know, you gotta protect your flesh from the things that, you know, the flesh loves. You know, you have to learn to change song. Change the song. You know, a lot of times I had to go through my playlist and I had to take out songs that were feeding my spirit the wrong things and replace those with songs that would, you know, feed my spirit based off of the book of love.
I got some 1,200 songs up in my phone, man.
A lot of music.
A lot of music, and I think it's high time I do some spring cleaning with the music that I got in that bad boy. I would listen to angry music, and it kept me in that mood. I want to say this real quick. We're not talking about the music and blaming music that says, it's the music's fault for my attitude or it's the music's fault for my actions. I'm not saying that at all. But it doesn't help to hear those things or to have that stuff playing around you and you're in that mood. You're not being uplifted. You're not being changed or healed, is what Tina said. So it's not a help when you're listening to that type of music. Such as, for example, if Tina and I were arguing, do you think it would help if I put on music that downplays women? Or if it would, I put on a song that says to be domineering or to put her in her place, in her place, or anything like that, whatever the case may be. That stuff is divisive. It's not part of the book of love, because the book of love is supposed to bring us together, be on one accord, singing from the same sheet of music. Notice I'm saying singing because I can. We're going to keep moving. Psalms 87, 5 and 7 says, regarding Jerusalem, it will be said, everyone enjoys the rights of citizenship there, and the Most High will personally bless the city. When the Lord registers the nations, he will say, that have all become citizens of Jerusalem. Interlude or Selah. The people will play flutes and sing. The source of my life springs from Jerusalem. In other words, all my joy is in you. And I like how this version says interlude, because there's interludes in songs and all of that, and on CDs and stuff like that. So all of that to say, this is peaceful, this is joy, this is love. Music was made to showcase love. It was created in heaven. Music was created in heaven, and it's all about love. Right? But like we've been saying, you have to be careful about the type of music you listen to, because we all know who rode the lightning out of heaven. And if we're not listening to the right type of music, we may not be singing the right type of song, and we may be on the wrong sheet of music.
That's right.
Let me put it to you this way. If you're listening to bummy music and not paying attention to the man in the mirror, trying to make a change, you can find yourself talking about breakups to makeups and where did we go wrong, asking the question, how am I supposed to live without you? And now you're singing One is the Loneliest Number. Just saying. And if you didn't catch that, all of those were song titles.
Or what about It's Time to Change the Song?
Okay.
You get it? You know that song by the Winans, It's Time to make that change?
I dig it.
We are this people.
I dig it. I also feel it's our time.
Okay.
So that's our time. We did what we came to do. We talked about the book of love, and it has music in it.
It does.
So if y'all want to listen to some music, go ahead and start reading some of those scriptures, right? Put on some good tunes, some good vibes, some good times, some good bumps, and just have a good time.
Let the Lord sing to you.
Let him sing to you.
Loud.
And we're going to let y'all hear him. So we going to get out of y'all way. But before we do that, please do us a solid and share that love hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to It's All Love 109 or following us on Facebook and Twitter using our handle at It's All Love 109. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us about the music. Let Tina know I can sing. All of that. Just, all of that. Tina, if you would please sing us out, if you don't mind.
I'll pray us out.
Sure.
Sure. We pray that you've been blessed by what you've heard today and we're able to see the love in the middle of it all. We also pray that the love shown to all of us by Jesus, you're able to show that same love to your spouse, knowing that you can love them because he first loved you.
Remember, with you, your spouse, and the greatest composer of all time, God, all on the same team. It's all love.
Y'all.
Now go and get up out of here, listen to some of that good music now. We'll see you.